Hello everyone, my name is Kristian Craige, and I just want to tell you a little bit about my story. Currently I'm living here in Dallas, and the reason why is because um, I went through one of the most horrific tragedies in human history, which was Hurricane Katrina. And the reason why I came to Dallas is because I made a vow to my family that I wouldn't go through that situation again. I wanted to be in a city that had higher ground. Um, Not to say that Dallas doesn't have its challenges as far as natural disasters, or any city has its challenges, as far as one city may have earthquakes, some cities may have tornadoes, like Dallas has tornadoes. But New Orleans is known for hurricanes, and after living in New Orleans 30 years, I just decided I was through with hurricanes, especially after dealing with Hurricane Katrina. So just to tell you a little story about what happened the day before Hurricane Katrina hit, I happened to be on the road selling cars at the time. I was traveling the country, actually doing special events, and my family was still in New Orleans at the time, and we didn't really have a lot of extra money to leave the city like a lot of people do in New Orleans. That's one of the big things I heard when Katrina hit. People who didn't live in the city or didn't understand would, make comments like, well, why didn't the people just get up and leave? Well, if you got a car that barely makes it across town without the radiator getting hot, surely you can't get on the road and drive for hours either. A lot of people in New Orleans don't really have the resources to actually, just get up and leave and, you know, uh, pay for a hotel to stay in, and buy gas to just travel all over town and from state to state. If you don't have relatives or places to go, sometimes it's just easier to stay put, because the hurricanes, they happen every year, and sometimes they happen several times a year. So just to pick up and leave every time a storm comes, it's just not you know feasible. And for some people, it's not even a possibility. So this particular time, I was thinking about letting my family stay in the Superdome, which a lot of families stay in the Superdome because it's a nice, strong structure that can withstand winds, the hurricane winds. And usually the hurricane will pass, people go to the Superdome, and then they come out. Well, thank God I didn't actually go that route, because we considered it. But the day before, my four sons and their mother actually left and went to Atlanta. And I recall my sons telling me that the wind was blowing so strong that the trees were actually about to touch the car. So they left, and then Hurricane Katrina hit. Well, what happened was so devastating, as everyone saw who watched how everything unfolded. I was watching it from just the television. I was in South Carolina at the time, and my family had got out and went to Atlanta, but the people who were in the Superdome were actually stuck in the Superdome, and all the power was out. So you're in this big Superdome, uh, and it's filled to capacity, and people aren't allowed in or out once the storm had hit. So there were all kind of stories that people were talking about once they got out, about people getting robbed, and people getting raped and things like that. I mean, it was just horrific stories that were being told. I didn't witness any of it myself, but these were just things that people talked about as far as what happened in that Superdome. And I was just glad that my family had left, and that we didn't take that option uh, to actually stay inside the Superdome. So for a while, New Orleans was kind of like just really shut down. You couldn't go into the city. The military kind of took over, and they weren't letting anyone in or out. And we just kind of hung out, and we were under the control of being I guess how would you say, we were dependent on Red Cross. We were dependent on FEMA to actually, send us a car, or put money on our car to buy food, to pay for our hotel. It just wasn't a great experience. And you know, during that time, I really realized that I never ever again want to be in a situation where I have to depend on the government or a job to take care of me, because things are just too unpredictable. And to feel out of control, like I have to depend on someone to take care of myself and my sons, was just something I just wasn't willing to do. So, after Hurricane Katrina passed, my job actually closed down. That was in New Orleans, and invited me to come to Texas. It could have been Alaska. I was really headed out, because at the time the city was, in a pretty terrible situation, which New Orleans is coming back, and it looks very, very beautiful, and there's still a lot of parts that still need to be taken care of in the domestic areas in New Orleans, but you can definitely see the progress. And much love to the courage, the people and their courage, and my heart is there, my home is there, my father was buried there, my 4 sons still live there. So my home will always be in New Orleans, but I knew that I had to take responsibility to make a change, and it wasn't going to happen by me actually staying there. So that's when I decided to leave, and I've been living in Dallas ever since. So fast forward to 2013, I had a great opportunity to actually see my vision come to fruition. And that vision was to get into an organization that collectively had the same vision that I did, and that was to be independent, to be free, to have a lifestyle where you don't have to depend on people to take care of you, that you could have the independence of creating your own type of life, being able to do what you want to do, how you want to do, when you want to do it, and make enough money to actually make a difference in the world, as well as create the freedom that you desire, so that you can make a difference. So, this company that I'm with is called the Empower Network. I'm very proud to be associated with it. I'm very proud to have mentors that I can look up to, like David Wood and David Sharp, people like Nicole Cooper, Tracy Walker, John Blaze Chapman, and Mike Hobbs. These are all great people that are aspiring to be great. And my grandmother used to always tell me, show me your friends and I'll show you who you are. Show me who you hang around with, and I can show you what type of person you're going to end up being. And I can honestly say that I could be no more prouder than to be affiliated with the leaders and mentors inside of the Empower Network. So I just want to really explain to you, somewhat of my journey of, coming from a place where there was total destruction, to now looking at a bright future inside the Empower Network that is going in the same direction as I am, and that is to create a life of freedom and to help advance world peace. So in saying that as well, rest in peace, Nelson Mandela. We love you very much and always will. You'll be greatly missed. So thanks, guys. I just want to share my story with you, and I'm glad that you took the time to listen to what I have to say. If you want to find out more about the Empower Network, just click the link below on ChristianCraige.com. Peace and love.